Hello everyone. Today we have the first short video from the line related to postdoctoral fellowships. The topic of today's video seems to be quite general. What is exactly Marie Sklodowska-Curie action? But even though it may sound obvious or unimportant, according to me, this is quite an important question. We need to understand the environment, in which environment we are going to propose our project. If you don't understand the environment, you simply can't design good project proposals. So the better you understand the limits, the frames, and the requirements from the funding agency, the better you design your project. So first of all, we always need to understand the nature of the scheme to which we apply for funding. And Marie Sklodowska-Curie actions are very specific because they deal not only with research, but mainly with people and how to advance and improve their knowledge, skills, and career. And this is something you always have to keep in your mind, that the majority of your project proposal, even though research is the core, the most important part of your project, it has to be there, it has to be excellent, but it's not everything to get funded in postdoctoral fellowship. The rest of the project, and particularly the project template, as you will see, will relate to things which we normally or not frequently do in our lifetime. It is about your career planning. They are going to ask you a lot of things which normally you would do if you were someone from human resources department. You would work with people, you would analyze their, I don't know, educational needs or development needs or their ideas about where they want to go further. And suddenly in postdoctoral fellowship, you are expected to do it yourself. Well, wonderful thing is, if you have someone to help you with that, some professionals who know a lot about the environment and can navigate you in your thinking. For this reason, it's always good to have some consultant or, well, project mate who is going to help you with all that. Because of course you are experts in your field. You are not experts in, most of the times, human resources or management. Sometimes you are, but then it's easier, of course. But if you work in physics and you have never even considered human resources development, then suddenly here we have a project where you have to become designer of your future career, of your future self. So for this reason, it is always good either to have someone to help you with that, or, well, follow some good advice online, which I will try to do for you. Otherwise, if you don't have things like that or support like that, I always keep on recommending Google. If you don't understand something, just put the question into Google and you always get some interesting inspiration based on which you can work further. But the advantage of working and collaborating with an expert is always the fact that these people know a little bit more about the environment and can explain you why certain things might or might not work in your case. Because every project, every person is specific. So your way, your project design is going to be unique and very specific to you, which I think is a good message for all of you who have never ever submitted any project proposal before. And again, I refer to the experience, for example, of Elena and my experience as well. If you design your project honestly and if you really consider every question that you are being asked in the project template, there is a huge chance that you are going to be successful. But if you don't invest a lot of time, a lot of thinking, a lot of communication and data collection, information collection, it won't work. So I can't promise you some kind of, well, algorithm, which if you follow, you will have an excellent project, because of course it always depends on your topic and the quality of research, as I said. But then once you have this, the rest matters. And I'm going to help you with this rest. Okay, so today the topic was to explain what is the scheme about. In the core, there is research, but what it focuses on are people performing this research. So without you doing research, you won't be funded, but they will ask you about you, lots of questions about you and advancing your career, your behavior in your future project. So this is going to be quite challenging, and for this we usually need some support and some inspiration. Well, that's all for this first introduction. I'm going to post more shorter videos for up to 10 minutes. That's an idea, because then it's kind of digestible chunks. At least according to me, I don't like long videos, but particularly if it's such a complex topic as project writing. So once you face situations, you will maybe understand why I provided this or that specific video and explanation. But to make a long 2 hours or 3 hours training means that sometimes people get too tired because they still don't understand why I'm talking about certain concepts and why these concepts are important. Sometimes you remember them when you start to need them while you are going to write your project, but quite frequently you forget about them. And once you meet the situation, I mean, like certain chapters of the project template where you will not be certain what to write about, and this is the moment when you could use this inspiration, which is the reason why I will always pick the core abstract concepts they are going to use and explain these abstract concepts. Which leads me to the explanation number one after this basic one. So why they use so many abstract words? Which is the topic for the next video. So as I said, very short ones and very focused ones. So today, what is Marie Sklodowska-Curie action and what is it focused on? As I said, don't forget that this action is always focused on people. So call it a little bit like HR projects, human resources projects. Big part of your project proposal is going to be related to you as a professional and advancing your knowledge and career. It will be related to career planning and knowledge development. And this is something we will focus together on. Okay, so the first short video, it's a kind of experiment for me as well, because I always tend to have 1.5 hours or whole day trainings. So actually this should be more like better designed, but again, I do it in my free time, and I still try to, although I still invest a lot of time into it, a lot of thinking, a lot of considering where to start and what to do. So sometimes it's kind of getting overwhelming because I'm not paid for that. So I thought, well, I mustn't invest too much time into it. But still, I'm so intrigued by the idea that you can help to someone without the necessity to fill in a huge amount of papers. I was absolutely, in those 20 years, I just dealt with so many papers and bureaucracy that I simply can't do it anymore. So now I'm glad that I can help, and I don't have to fill in any forms, which is wonderful. Okay, so I will stop talking now because I could be talking ages.